and we're ready to roll. We have spent 2 nights at the Kazuma National Park in Zimbabwe, or on the Zimbabwe side. It's a trans-frontier park, so there's a bit on the Zimbabwe side and a bit on the Botswana side. It's right on the border. When you enter this, you come through Panamatenga. At the border post, the Zimbabwe side of the border post, the security guard that opens the boom to let you pass through the borders will also unlock the gate to let you in here. And when you get back, he'll unlock the gate to let you out. It's about 30 kilometers, 35 kilometers from the border post on a very good sand road to get up here. Easy to reach. When you arrive here, we camped at the Kazuma Pan Corner campsite, they call it. And it's probably one of the top 5 campsites we've ever stayed at. When you arrive, you have this beautiful hide all to yourself. Chairs to sit and view the game, beautiful counter. You've got these shutters that open and close. I'll show you how that one closes. You've got 4 single beds in here. We didn't stay in here, we stayed in our tent. But people that are traveling with us, they spent the night up here, both nights. Had a beautiful sleep. It's been quite windy both days we've been here, and the wind is howling at the moment, so excuse me if the sound quality is not great. There's not much protection up here other than these 2 or 4 canvas sections that they've sectioned off, but they blow and flap and they're pretty noisy. But it's magnificent. You've got all this counter space. We'll go downstairs just now and see what's there, but look at this view. How could you not love that? There's a solar operated borehole pump that sort of kicks into action at about 8:30 in the morning, fills this small well here. It overflows and runs down into the pan there and fills up with water, and there's a lot of transient animals coming through here. We've had, well, there's resident plains game, so there's wildebeest and giraffe and zebras and roan antelope, warthogs, we had lots of birds, a lot of elephants come through here. So be prepared from about 4:30 onwards. I think last night, I don't know, collectively before we went to bed at 9:30, there must have been 300 elephants come through in different groups. A lot of breeding herds as well as single males coming through. And they don't just drink in the pan, a lot of them do, but for as long as this well stays full, they come right here. So they're sort of 6 meters away from you. Big elephants, their eyes height is the same as you, and they're drinking in that well. It's really special at night to sit here and have your dinner and look at what's going on outside there. We use our torches to highlight a bit. Of course, you don't want to shine at any animal's eyes. There's resident hippo in the pond. They come out at night and they're entertaining us all day. And when the elephant herds come in, there's a bit of interaction between the hippos and the elephants. It's really special. The sun sets behind you in the west, and that's really good for photographs late afternoon, golden hour photos and video. And in the morning it comes up in the east, and it's beautiful reflection on the water before the wind comes up. It's really a special place to spend a few days, and highly recommend it. I can't think of why you would come through Panamatenga border on any occasion for any reason and not come up here. And we'll get to our gradings just now, but in terms of access, if you come from the Botswana side, it's all tar roads. You turn off at Panamatenga. Sorry, I'm staring, I've just seen it looks like a fish eagle in the tree there. It's all tar roads. You come through the border, and at the border post you turn left up a beautiful gravel road to get up here. It really is quite something. Magda, come film me quickly, because this fish eagle's going to chase the Egyptians. Can you see him to the left there? He's coming into view.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
Yeah, that was an interesting interlude, but a great opportunity for you to see what this pool of water looks like. Well worth a visit, and also the ability for the solar pump to pump enough water into this dam. It doesn't pump enough for the demand and for the evaporation. It's quite shallow. When we see the elephants walk in, they just about cross the whole thing. Where the hippos are sitting, I think there's a deepish part there, but most of it looks like it's only this deep. So a lot of evaporation, and when the wind blows like this, even more. So they're trying to raise funds. They need about $10,000 I hear to put batteries in for the solar so that it can keep pumping overnight. I think they get about 60,000 litres a day. They're hoping to double that with a set of batteries. So if anyone wants to donate some batteries or maybe contribute to the fund, it's the Bhejane Trust. I'm sure you can Google it and help them out. So all in all, a wonderful place to stay. I'm going to close this shutter so you can see what it looks like. Obviously at night when you're sleeping in here, you want to close these so that you don't become the dinner and nothing jumps up here or disturbs you or flies through here. And then the top tip for today is to hook these chains up, because otherwise at night in the wind they clang, clang, clang. Apparently I didn't sleep here. So now it's perfectly safe to sleep. There's a steel door downstairs which we'll show you. It's completely wire mesh enclosed. Really a lovely place. I think it's, yeah, as I said, one of the top 5 campsites we've ever stayed at. Really beautiful. Let's take a walk downstairs and we'll see the wash-up area and the ablutions. If you want to make a barbecue or a fire, there is a dedicated place put down here behind the screen where you can make your fire. It's something that I suggest you do early. Don't really be down here at night. There is water nearby. There's a lot of elephants around. Don't court a hazard. You know, ideally I think you want to try and get your barbecue done by sort of 4:35 and then get inside and enjoy the evening, bottle of red wine and watch the animals. We battled to try and get firewood on our way through, and eventually got a couple of sticks that we thought, well, we'd have to use to make the fire with, and then we arrived and discovered this all laid out here for us, which is a fantastic plus. You know, firewood can cost you $5 or $10 a bundle depending where you're buying it. So, you know, within your camping fee you've saved $10 or $20 or at least $10 a night on firewood, which is fantastic. There is this wooden screen that extends on either side of the hide, and it's advised not to go past that so you don't interfere with the animals. Obviously the animals are quite comfortable with this hide and they come close and they happy to come here and drink and graze and wander around. And if people start to go beyond that and spook the animals, they won't be comfortable coming anymore, and you don't want to see unnatural behavior from animals because they're scared or something, whatever. It's nice to see them calm and relaxed and going about their normal life. There's a steel gate that you come through that you would latch, or you would find it latched as well. There's a nice kitchen wash-up area, a little bit of counter space. We set up our tables here. I don't know if you can hear me in the wind. On that side's a little storeroom. They keep some cleaning things in there, so there's mops and things that you can use to clean up the place before you leave it. We washed and wiped down everything and brushed everything down in the spirit of leaving it how we'd like to find it. Through here there's a toilet, a flushing toilet and a shower. So the water's pumped through the solar. There's a tank outside. It goes into the tank. When the tank overflows, the water runs down here and supplies the pan. So there's always fresh water available. Obviously no hot water, although there was a shower here. The wind is blowing and it's quite chilly, this wind. I know it doesn't look like it the way I'm dressed, but I'm very tough. So I imagine showering here in cold water with this wind blowing would be quite an experience. So in here is the flushing toilet, little hand basin, nice shower, but and it's a wet room. But as I say, in summer, probably an absolute blessing. But in winter, you've got to be brave. And the advantage at night as well, when the elephants are drinking here, if you come down quietly, you can come and film through here and be right at ground level. And you really are 5 meters away from massive elephants. It's beautiful place to come and see. We get now to our ratings. So our first subject heading is, Magda has to give me a clue. Accessibility. I don't think that is the first one, but we'll go with accessibility. If you come from the Botswana side, well, it couldn't be easier. And the road up here couldn't be better. It's as if they just made the road for you. It really is fantastic, and a beautiful drive and a nice game drive up here, the 35 odd Ks. Accessibility from the Botswana side, I would say, is a 9. It couldn't get easier unless they carried you here in an armchair. The Zimbabwe side, a little bit different, because we came down from Vic Falls. So you drive on the main, what they call the main Victoria Falls to Bulawayo Road. Don't be fooled. It's a nasty in places dirt road, and then you turn right and do about 30 k's off on the only road to the Padamatenga border post, and that's also quite rough. Not that easy. So I suppose about let's call it a 6 in accessibility from the Zimbabwe side. Facilities, I don't know. You know, what else could we have? Hot water. You know, to come to a place, you don't even have to set up your rooftop tent or your tables or anything. Take out your gas bottle, your cooker, go upstairs, make a beautiful meal, safe, secure. I think it's a 9. I can't imagine it. If it had hot water, it would be a 10. It really is fantastic. Value for money. Again, we harp on about Zimbabwe being expensive, but I think this campsite, absolutely, let's call it an 8 on value for money. It's worth every cent, and a real hidden gem that I couldn't believe. We booked quite late, and we got a booking for 2 nights. I would think this place at this time of year would be fully booked every night, because as I say, I can't imagine why you would want to go anywhere else when you can come here and relax for a couple of days. Our last heading, cleanliness. It was clean. It was beautiful. I don't know if the parks people, I would doubt it, because we haven't seen any parks people around here, would come here and clean it. So I imagine people are in the spirit of it, finding it, are leaving it like they want to find it. We've certainly left it nice and clean, and we'd hope people continue to do that. So on cleanliness, probably a 8. We're fortunate we've got a gale blowing at the moment, so any dust or crumbs we've left anywhere are halfway to Deception Pan in Botswana by now. But yes, we've loved it here. I think overall rating, I'd have to say an 8. It's really beautiful, fantastic place. And you know, in our trip around the world, there's places we always speak about. There's, you know, we'll never be here again. And this is one of those places where I think we regret that we'll never be here again. And maybe we'll make a plan before we're going to Botswana for a spell now. And in October, we're back in Zimbabwe. We're doing a game count in Wangi. And I think we're going to make a point of coming back here and spending another maybe 3 nights here or something. It's a beautiful place. You know, we've got the Starlink, so we can set the laptop up upstairs, sit there, work on the laptop, get some administration done, at the same time keeping an eye out, and then you're disturbed by giraffe coming to drink or something happening. It's idyllic, really magnificent, and Kazuma Pan, that's the place, I think, for 2025.